The chat was still scrolling. Emojis, comments, where are you going next? Then the screen went black. It was a Tuesday night, nothing special about it. A hiker, alone, live streaming a trail he'd walked 100 times before. 1,200 people were watching. Some just background noise on a second monitor. Some glued to the screen, chatting, asking questions. He was funny, casual, answering comments mid-stride. Then, at 9:47 p.m., his voice changed. Just slightly. He said, "Hang on, do you guys see that?" And the stream cut to black. No warning, no error message. No connection lost, just gone. At first, nobody panicked. Streams drop all the time. Bad signal. Dead battery. Normal stuff. But 5 minutes passed. Then 10. The chat kept refreshing, waiting for the reconnect. It never came. By midnight, someone had clipped the last 11 seconds of footage and posted it. By 6 a.m., it had 500,000 views. Because in that clip, right before the screen dies, there's a shape. Off to the side, in the tree line. Not clearly anything, just wrong. Something that shouldn't move the way it moved. Search and rescue got the call the next morning. His car was still in the trailhead lot. His phone, the one he'd been streaming from, was found 40 feet off the marked path. Screen shattered, battery pulled out. Not dead, pulled out. That detail alone kept investigators up at night. Because a phone doesn't lose its battery by falling. Someone, or something, had to physically remove it. As for the shape in the trees, forensic video analysts eventually cleaned up the footage, enhanced it frame by frame. Their conclusion, it was almost certainly a shadow. Branches moving in wind, catching stream compression artifacts. Explainable. Boring even. Which should have closed the case. It didn't. Because here's what doesn't have a boring explanation. The trail he was on has a hard cell signal. Locals confirm it. Other streamers confirm it. You can post video from that exact ridge with 0 issues. So why did his signal cut at that precise second? Investigators pulled the raw stream data from the platform's backend. And what they found wasn't a dropped connection. It was a manual disconnect. Someone, or something, ended the stream on purpose. But he never touched the app again. His phone was found later, still logged into the account. Still recording. Just to nothing. Pointed at the dirt. For 6 days, there was nothing. No sightings. No new evidence. Just 1,200 strangers replaying 11 seconds of footage on a loop. Searching for something they might have missed. Online, theories multiplied by the hour. Some thought he staged it, a viral stunt gone sideways. Some thought it was an animal encounter that panicked him into a bad decision. A smaller, louder group insisted the shape in the trees was never explained. That wind on branches was the version investigators wanted people to believe. Then, on day 7, he was found. Alive, 12 miles from the trailhead. Disoriented, dehydrated. Unable to explain at first how he got there. When he finally could speak clearly to investigators, his story didn't line up with the terrain. He said he'd only walked for what felt like 20 minutes after the string cut. The math doesn't work. 12 miles of dense trail terrain, alone, at night, in 20 minutes. That's not hiking. That's not even possible at a dead sprint. So either his sense of time was catastrophically wrong, or something happened in that gap that he genuinely does not remember. The official explanation, months later, settled on something clinical. A disorientation episode, possibly triggered by dehydration or a minor fall, causing memory gaps and a loss of time perception. It happens. It's documented in other missing hiker cases. The battery being pulled from his phone was likely from the fall itself. A hard enough impact against rock can pop a phone case open. Investigators closed the file. But they never explained the manual disconnect on the back-end log. That detail was quietly left out of the final public report. It only surfaced because someone filed a records request 18 months later. And that's the part that keeps this case alive online. Not the man. He's fine now. Back to posting, occasionally, though never on that trail again. It's the 11 seconds, the manual disconnect no one can account for. The 12 miles that shouldn't have been possible in 20 minutes. 3 separate anomalies. Each one individually explainable. All 3 together, on the same night, to the same person. That's where the official story stops being satisfying. Here's the uncomfortable truth about cases like this. We want a single answer, a monster in the trees, or a tidy medical explanation that resolves everything at once. Real mysteries rarely hand you that. Instead, they leave you with fragments. A shadow that's probably nothing. A log entry that's probably a glitch. A memory gap that's probably just fear, doing what fear does. Probably is not the same as solved. And maybe that's the real reason this story still gets clipped and replayed years later. Not because we believe something supernatural happened in those trees, but because we know, deep down, that some questions get closed on paper long before they get closed in our heads.